everybody. Welcome to the Geriatric Millennials. This is Beth.
And this is Jayme.
And we're just two oldish, youngish ladies talking about, I'm going to talk about some very inappropriate behavior at my doctor's office. So,
What?
Well, I recently got a new doctor, which I was super excited about. Like I had a whole thing with my old doctor and trying to get in and blah, blah, blah. It was just like annoying. And I mean, no fault to them. It's just the healthcare in America is challenging at best.
Yeah.
So I get this new doctor, very young and fun. I call her doctor. It's so awkward because she's a PA. And I love a nurse practitioner or a PA, but they're not a doctor. So I don't know what to call them. But I just want to call them doctor.
You don't want to be like provider.
Yeah, provider, PA, blah.
Hey,
so
provider.
she just had me call her by her name. But we're talking and whatever. And she brought up menopause. And I was like, ma'am. And that's the second time because I had to go to another doctor that was just like a clinic doctor for something. And he brought up menopause too. And I was just like,
Stop it.
Sir, stop. He was asking me, oh, are you still getting your periods? Yes, sir, regularly. Okay. But I was just so kind of like.
He asked you that? I feel like you're still young in order to not get your period anymore.
No, my new doctor was kind of like, yeah, this is the time where you're going to maybe start seeing shifts.
Maybe some fluctuations, but
we're at the age, we're mid-40s, which is, I mean, okay, we can say maybe not fully mid-40s, but basically mid-40s.
I mean, I am turning 45 this year. We both are.
I know, but we're not there yet.
No, we're not.
But it's the time when stuff does start changing. And I've noticed there have been changes. But they said like basically like, you're not technically in menopause until you've missed a period for like a whole year. And I've never missed a period. So your girl is still going. But there are some other things that have shifted for sure.
Yeah.
Like it's so weird. All of a sudden, things are just different in different areas and places and spaces.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know. Well, age, but it just is really rude. Well, weren't you the one that told me that like you saw something where like people rapidly age at 2 ages in their life and one's 44?
I did hear that or see that or read that or something. And I was like,
oh,
rude.
So rude.
Also,
and so
maybe
true.
accurate.
No, all of a sudden, Jayme, I'm at work wearing reading glasses. I'm reaching for readers. I had to make the font on my computer screen at work a little bigger. And it's like, I cannot file my nails now if I have my contacts in. I have to put on reading glasses in order to see my hand that close. What the hell?
Right?
So rude. And I just went to the eye doctor last November and it wasn't that bad yet. And all of a sudden it was just like, you know what? You can't see close anymore. You're welcome.
Yeah, I did not know that was an age thing. Yeah. I'm talking about a few years ago that I didn't know because I went to the eye doctor and I had been having a little bit of trouble, like just with stuff because I'm nearsighted. So I don't see things far away. But all of a sudden there were a few things that were near and I couldn't quite focus on them. And he was just like, yeah, that's normal for your age. And I was like, wait, what? Like everyone? This happens to everyone? Pretty much. Yeah. Everyone in their 40s. And I was just like, excuse me? Like, I did not think that would happen to me.
Never.
Because I did not know.
Old. Yeah.
But I didn't know that was a thing that happened when you got old. I just thought that some people needed glasses.
Right? No.
I was like, this is the way my eyes have been this way.
Yeah.
So why would my eyes all of a sudden be the opposite of that?
I know.
That's dumb.
It's stupid. It's
just because I'm getting older?
Yeah. I mean, it's really rude, but it so happens. Like, it's to the point now sometimes, like, I have a hard time going so I wear contacts because I can't see far away either. And that prescription hasn't changed that much.
Same.
It's just the up close one. And it's weird because sometimes, like, in order to really enjoy, like, doom scrolling at night or like looking at social media, I need to take my contacts out because it's like just that much harder. And then that shift from contacts back and forth, because I typically don't wear glasses, is kind of a lot. And I'm just like, I'm not really loving this. Also, I recently had to look at something like it was like a computer mouse or something, but it was black on black text. And I had to get my phone out to turn the light on. Couldn't see it. Had to take a picture.
That's what I was going to ask.
And then blew it up.
Did you take a picture and then zoom in?
Absolutely.
I have done that.
And it's just like, that's kind of rude.
I have done that.
I've joked about it before, but I really am so close to having to be at a restaurant and like either I have to hold the menu out depending on the menu size, or if it's too dark, I'm going to have to turn a light on. And that is just not...
It's not what we want.
It's fine.
It's not what we want.
But it's definitely like a marker of time. It's a marker of time for sure. And I'm just like, this is so rude.
I agree
Like, it's so rude.
I agree with you.
Also, the thing that's rude too is that we actively have friends now that are pregnant, having babies at this age, but also have friends that are having grandmas. What the heck?
Isn't that strange?
It's so weird.
It's
and
so
not
true.
not like grandma's where the kid had like a really young pregnancy. Like the kid is an adult, like some of them out of college having a baby. I'm sorry.
You mean like their child?
Their child. So it's not even like, your 15-year-old got pregnant and, whatever. It is like, no, your fully grown adult is pregnant, married, had a kid, and now you're a grandma and we're the same age. And I'm just living here with 2 cats, like living my best life.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
what's
it's
happening?
Strange. And then like you said, and then another friend is pregnant,
having a baby, and I'm like, that sounds horrible. I mean, good for you, happy, blessings, all those things. To birth a baby right now sounds terrible. Like thinking about having to do morning, like in the middle of the night feedings right now in my 40s, like my mid 40s, sounds so not fun. Sounds so rough. I'm barely sleeping as it is. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even imagine right now, like waking up I was. So like a few months ago, I was waking up 3 or 4 times in the night. I was having freaking hot flashes and night sweats.
Okay.
It was awful. Well, it turned out like I was on a birth control that was not for me. And as soon as I went off, it all went away.
Oh, good.
But I was on it for a year. And I was like having severe night sweats and hot flashes for almost 6 months.
That sounds horrible.
Like waking up drenched. And I remember my mom having hot flashes when she was kind of going through it. And it would be like winter and she'd just go outside in her like skivvies basically because you could see it. I saw this TikTok. I think I sent it to you.
The steam coming off?
The steam coming off of this woman's head at a football game because she was having a hot flash and you could see the steam coming off of her. And I was just like, that's our future.
Yeah,
and
I think it is.
I mean, it's part of life, blah, blah, blah. But oh my gosh, I'm not looking forward to like carrying a fan around with me. Have you ever had a hot flash?
So no, I haven't. But I want to say no. So after I had my babies, when hormones were just all like out
Everywhere.
of whack and everywhere, I had like night sweats. And so I would wake up and just be drenched in sweat. And my bed was just like wet from so much sweat in the night. And that happened to me every time I had a baby in those weeks following. But so I think that will be like, that's something similar,
yeah,
right?
Oh,
like
same.
Yeah. And so I have, but I haven't in terms of like
this stage.
Perimenopause.
Yeah, no.
But I don't want to say these things out loud because I feel like then they're going to start happening.
I don't think we're manifesting perimenopause. I think perimenopause is right around the corner.
But I don't want it to start sooner than it needs to. And I know that saying things, here's a question. Why did I live for 40 plus years and have many, many, many of those years be in a tropical country, have many, 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 many encounters with scorpions, and then I go to Belize for 1 week, and the day I go out with my niece who tells me she was stung by a scorpion in her bed, and I open my mouth and say, well, I've never been stung. That night, I got stung in my bed. Why? Because I said it that day.
Okay. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't think that that's what's happened.
But it doesn't make sense.
Maybe because
Except for I had just said it. I was like, oh, I've never been stung. And I feel like that's why I got stung.
Okay.
I know that's not true.
I know, but it feels true. It feels true.
It feels true. That's why I'm like, I don't want to say that I've never XYZ because...
But what if the fact you got stung is
because
because
what if I have a hot flash tonight? It's going to be because I said this.
But maybe our body chemistry changes as we get older. So maybe you're omitting a new pheromone and it's attracting things.
That's attracting scorpions?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
It's like people
Absolutely
that attract
not.
mosquitoes.
I did not attract that thing. Plus, I'm in a completely different season of life than my niece who got stung in her bed.
Yeah,
We're not putting off the same pheromones. No, I reject this theory. And I did not attract that thing.
Okay. Nope, you did not.
Again, and I've had many encounters with these creatures in the past.
Yeah, but you're not attracting perimenopause either. It's just like,
that's right.
It's just, has its little head peeking around the corner like, hey girl, hey, I'm here for you.
Well, something I've noticed in this age is that so many of my friends, because I have friends a little younger, a little older, are experiencing all kinds of symptoms that are attributed to perimenopause, which we're fortunate to have access to more information than ever, because I never would have thought that was related to perimenopause, but it is. For example, itchy ears.
I was going to say that. My TikTok algorithm has been all about perimenopause and my inner ears have been itching so bad.
Mine are going to start itching right now because we're talking about it.
It's been like really annoying. Thankfully, my doctor's like, just take an allergy pill. You probably have allergies. And I was like, okay, maybe not listen to just TikTok. But I feel that the ear itch has been pretty consistent now for months. I mean, some of those months weren't allergy season, so we're trying.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I mean, even like dry eyes. My eyes are a little bit drier than normal. My skin is a little bit drier than normal. I've had chapped lips a couple times this year. I've never had chapped lips before.
Sounds like you might be dehydrated.
Maybe I need more water, but it's not like my body's asking for water. Although the other day,
I think it is. That's what your chapped lips are asking for.
Well, I also had the flu, so who knows what
the other day what?
The other day, like I realized I don't drink a ton of water. Like I have friends that drink water, like a gallon of water a day. If I did that, I would probably die because it's just too much water for me.
You would not die, but
okay. You could if you drank it all at once. Just saying, that's a real thing. But throughout the day, I might drink like 64 ounces, that's water still.
Yeah, 64 is a lot. That's two big things
of water.
Of a 32 ounce.
Yeah, that's
times two. Yeah.
I mean, do I drink the whole thing? Okay, maybe not.
That's quite a bit of water, Beth.
Okay, maybe I over-exaggerated. Maybe it's one of those or 1.5. Who knows? I don't keep track of my water. I just drink when I'm like feeling, I just drink throughout the day. And typically I don't feel thirsty because I'm just staying kind of hydrated. The other day I was so thirsty and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm dying and something's really wrong with me. And then I did the math. The only water I had to drink for like the whole day was a little sip of water to take a high blood pressure medication pill that I have to be on now just for a little bit. My doctor's like, we don't have to do it for very long, just for a little bit. And I was like, okay. I'm like, that also is a thing about this age is like, I have a prescription now. I have prescriptions that I have to take for ailments.
Yeah. Well,
like,
you
super
did not
annoying.
drink enough water that day. If
I
that's
did not.
All the water
It's fine. Yeah, I know. But it's just like, it just feels like I'm not drinking enough water. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. Like
you're getting chapped lips.
I'm getting chapped lips. I'm like, now I have like prescriptions here and there for different ailments. And I'm like, that's very rude. And I don't want to deal with that.
I don't either.
And I hate it. And it's just like, but also I don't want to die. So it's just like, okay, cool.
You know which one I have to take? What I have to deal with all the time is heartburn.
Oh my gosh, heartburn is so real.
So real.
I never had heartburn. And then all of a sudden I thought I was having heart problems because I was having chest pain. And then I talked to a professional. They're like, dummy, that's called heartburn. Why are you laying on your right side at nighttime? Like you just take some Tums before bed or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I don't know about you, but I have to have medication with me.
Oh, I have Tums in the car and I have Tums. I take Tums regularly and then I also take other stuff regularly because it's a real issue for me.
It's a real issue.
And it's been for years now, unfortunately. Yeah, I never used to have that problem when I was younger.
No, it's so annoying. The other thing I'm realizing too is like I can't just not go to the bathroom anymore. Like when
you have to listen to your body. You have to listen to my body. Can't just hold it for hours.
I remember I don't really ever recall using the bathroom all through school, through college, like a public bathroom. I don't really ever, not that you would remember like that was memorable, but for the most part, like I wasn't a use the bathroom at school kid for going number one, never number two. Like that would never happen. I would go home before I would do that at school. But like, I don't remember, I would drink throughout the day and stuff.
You wouldn't go pee at school?
No, I don't ever really remember going to the bathroom at school. I don't know what was going on. I mean, again, I think like maybe on my period, of course, but like typically I don't remember going to the bathroom a lot. I also think too, like back in like the early 90s, we didn't drink water the way people drink water today.
We didn't carry around water bottles.
I don't even know if there were like plastic water bottles at that point. I don't remember seeing one. But I just don't remember going to the bathroom. But now it's like, like if I try to hold it too long at work, I'm like,
it's a problem.
Immediate kidney infection. Oh, I don't have that problem.
Oh.
But I do have the problem of like, I can feel it like backing up and like I'm going to get a UTI or something. Like you can't just hold your urine for ever. But it's just like very annoying. I remember one time I was talking to I was talking to my manager and we're having a conversation and all of a sudden I was like, I got to go. And I started doing the pee-pee dance, basically running to the bathroom because like I had waited too long and then she started talking to me. And I was past the point of like, my body was like, listen, you made us hold it for
way too long.
Yeah. We gave you the signs of like, hey, I probably should go to the bathroom. And now you're going to urinate at work all over yourself. And so I had to run. It was so crazy. Anyway, that's a super fun thing about getting older too.
And you know what else is super fun? So fun. Waking up with aches and pains from what?
Nothing.
Laying down?
Yeah. I've had that before from laying in the same position for too long. I'm like, gotta move. Gonna get a bed sore. I mean, it's been 20 minutes. Like, calm down. But you know what I mean? Where it's like my hip is hurting because I've been laying on this side for too long.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had a friend tell me recently that she injured her sciatic nerve in a change room trying on clothes.
Oh, gosh. That's a horrible micro injury.
Right?
Yeah.
Hearing about micro injuries right and left.
Yeah. I hurt myself the other day doing push-ups because like my wrists just were hurting from like doing them. So I had to like change the way I was doing them. And after I was like, I need to stretch it out a little bit. Like
you were doing push-ups. That's good.
Yeah. But it was still like, I was like, okay, that's cool. There was this trend that I saw on my favorite app, TikTok, where they were like, oh, if you're this age, you know, if your body's like this, can do this, you're like this age. And basically you go from like a kneeling position and you just jump up into a squat.
Did you try it?
Mentally, I did because I watched the people doing it, and I mentally was like, I thought about me doing it. I'm like, absolutely not. There's no way you're going from like sitting on your knees to just jumping up into a squat. It's just not going to happen.
With these ideas?
I don't know people that can do it, but I watch all of these like I really like doing the I like agility fitness. I'm like really into that right now, and I'm trying to get better agility and flexibility because as you get older, like having good agility makes it so like I'm not going to fall just walking and you know that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I saw another TikTok that at one point in your life you're just going to not be able to jump anymore. Like for most people, there's just a point in your life that you can no longer just like jump up, and I was just like, oh shoot, that's a good like test to just see like, can I jump still? Because I'm like picturing like before my grandpa passed.
I'm pretty sure you can.
Oh, I can, but I was like picturing my grandpa when he was like 100. There was no way he was going to be able to just even jump an inch off the ground. And so I'm like, oh, this is a good marker to like keep jumping. And so then it got me into agility and like, you know, all of this other stuff. It's just like very humbling when you see these people that can do like a pistol squat and then spin and bring their leg and whatever. And it's all practice and you know, all that kind of stuff. But I was just like, you know, it will humble you when you try to do something that you're not used to doing, or that you used to be able to do, like, you know,
but you haven't done
in years. Like, oh, I can whip out a split. No, I can't. I tried.
That
it was embarrassing.
painful.
Thankfully, it was just at my house, but it was embarrassing. Or, you know, as a dancer growing up and I see these, you know, the little dances people do, and I'll try to be like, I'll do a dance. Let me just sit down. Because I just embarrassed myself in my own home in front of nobody because I was thinking I could do this new kind of way to twerk, you know? And I'm like, I'm working it. I'm like, my back is real stiff. And so it's just like, oh my gosh.
I am going to let you know that one of my most recent goals is to be able to twerk properly.
Yeah. I love that.
That's amazing. Learn how to twerk because, so this is a tangent, but I took a twerk class at the last salsa congress. It was my favorite class of the whole congress. And it was just so fun. And I loved the instructor. Well, she has an online twerk class, which I haven't taken, but she does Twerk Tip Tuesday.
Love that.
And on her Instagram, I have come across her Twerk Tip Tuesday things, and I find myself trying to do the tips. It's really hard to do.
It's so hard.
It is so hard, but it is like a good workout. And it's just, I just love the music and I just think it's funny and fun. And I want it. And I've never known how to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to move like that. But when I see girls doing that, I think it's cool.
So cool. Yeah.
And I want to be able to do it. So I think that in this year of my 45th year, I am going to learn how to twerk.
Okay. I love that. I think that's great. I think twerking is so cool. It looks amazing. And people can do like one butt cheek clap and stuff. It's amazing. But when you try to do it, it's like, how do they do that?
I don't know.
No, this is where I'm at, like rhythmically at this point, which is humiliating. Is like I'm trying to do my little Apple Fitness dance classes, and they're like saying like, put your right hand up with, you know, your left leg doing the sing. Cannot do it. Cannot go opposites at this point. A lot of times I'm just doing like the leg work and I'm not doing the arms, because if I start doing the arms, I just get so off that I'm like, how did I lose my rhythm? Like, this is embarrassing. But I can freestyle fine. But it's just like anytime it's like a coordinated movement with an arm and an opposite leg. This used to drive one of my trainers crazy because she would be like right arm, left leg kind of thing. Never could do it. Like I was just like,
that's so interesting.
As soon as I hit my 30s, that stuff was gone. I could no longer coordinate body parts in that way. So I don't know if that's an age thing or what, but it feels like an age thing because I remember being young and not ever having to think like, what arm goes up when I'm walking? Wait, I shouldn't just have my left arm and my left leg out at the same time? Like, anyway.
Is brain fog an age thing?
100%.
I thought it was a COVID thing, and I've been saying I've got long COVID because I've had COVID for 5 years or whatever. Not COVID, but long COVID or whatever. I feel like I've had brain fog for so long.
Yeah. How old were you 5 years ago? You're probably
Never
39,
mind.
right?
Never mind.
That's the start of it all.
COVID messed with my brain.
I believe that. But I do think that like,
I'm going to blame it on that.
Okay. I'm just saying our 40s, I definitely have seen a shift in like my snappiness and having like, what was I doing again?
This is a depressing conversation.
Well, it's uplifting. We still have time. Okay. We could be taking, some supplements.
I don't
maybe.
like it.
I think the worst right now is just like skin elasticity. So it's just like things do not bounce back. Like I've been working out, I've been doing things, but like my skin is just like, hey girl, hey, we're just going to chill. I got red light therapy. So I told you I got the red light mask and the stick. I got a giant red light panel for the whole body.
Oh my gosh.
So literally it's like you just.
Well, your skin looks great to me.
I'm trying to stay on it. It's been hit or miss. That's the other thing about this age that's weird is that like not only is like my collagen going down, I'm not as like, dewy and stuff. Supple. It, skin doesn't snap back quite as quick, but also I get breakouts sometimes. And I'm just like.
So annoying.
I was like the other day, I'm like, why am I so broken? I haven't been this broken out in years. Like, what did I use a different, something on my face? Nothing has changed. It's just hormones.
Damn.
And I was just like that. And I was talking to my another friend, and she's just like, it was her birthday, and she was saying like, I was doing all the happy birthday, you're old too now type of stuff because we're this, the same age. And anyway, she's just like, yeah, it's awesome, wrinkles and pimples. Like, why? That's just so disgusting. It's so, I'm like having to use my, my wrinkle cream and, a zit cream. What's going on?
That reminds me, I got the Neutrogena.
The Neutrogena?
Or Neutrogena, as you like to say. I think I like it.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It's nice.
I haven't noticed any type of reaction or dryness or redness. So I think I might need a stronger one.
Okay.
But I don't know. I feel like my skin feels
pretty smooth. Are you using it every day?
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's like you got to just.
But I like
going.
it.
Yeah.
I like it. So, because my skin was getting bumpy again, because I think I used an expired vitamin C thing, oil, and I think it made anyway.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of bumps on my skin, and they're pretty much gone now. And I'm happy about that. But I think it's from that.
The Neutrogena.
Neutrogena. But I hear you about.
Yes. Skin just changes. The thing that's getting me right now is the under eye. Like I never thought about my under eyes even like a couple years ago. And now when I like use my magnifying mirror, I see a very much difference in the under eye skin.
I have a love-hate relationship with the magnifying mirror. And I will say that it's mostly love. But there is an element of hate too. Because I didn't used to see that. And I don't need to see that. But I kind of do need to see that because I got to get all the hair, I got to pluck it. And that magnifying mirror is magical.
It sees into your soul of the pores. Because it's just like, I was talking to a friend about it. And I'm like, she's like, you got to stop. Because it's like you think your skin looks awful, but it's because you're looking at it 100 times. Like nobody sees your skin like that.
No.
I'm like, I see everything. It's awful. Well, and again, I have to use it though. It has a bright, it's like a ring light basically with this like super magnifying mirror to see the chin hairs. And the thing that really gets me is like a few years ago, I had one chin hair and every once I'd be like, I feel something and I'd pluck it. Now it's a weekly thing where I turn the mirror on, I do my eyebrows, and then I look at the chin. I'm like, oh, look, there's several now. And there's like one or two that are the nasty witch hairs that come in thick and coarse and are just like, you can feel them and see them. But now I have like lighter brown or black hairs that are not like super visible, but are visible. And now I'm just like, great. Am I going to have a goatee in the next couple years? It's just like, and I know every woman experiences it at, stray hairs at some point in their life, but it's just very like, are you kidding me?
You are not going to have a goatee.
I'm going to have a goatee. I remember saw this woman on TV and she was like 87 years old.
She had a goatee.
She had white chin hairs and it wasn't a full goatee, but it was there. And I'm not to say like, I know that like a lot of people have facial hair for a lot of different like medical reasons, all kinds of stuff. And it's like a very like personal thing, and it can be, super annoying, and people go to great lengths to embrace or get rid of. I'm a get rid of person. And it's also like one of those things that's just so annoying when you feel it. And all of a sudden you're touching it and you're like, oh, and then you don't realize like, oh, I'm playing with the chin hair in front of my colleagues. Great. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh my gosh. And then once you know once it looks like, then you'll see people like on, other podcasts or videos and stuff. And you're like, they're playing with the chin hair right now. I know this sensation.
Funny. So I will say I don't have any chin hairs yet that I am aware of, but I do have like under eye whiskers, like right here.
What?
Yeah. Like right here.
Under your eyes, you have like whiskers?
Well, kind of. Yeah. Like
That's
they're
wild.
a little bit darker, and I've been plucking them because I'm like, what is that? Why do I have under eye whiskers?
Oh my gosh. I do
have some mustache hairs for sure. Also the nose hairs. That's been out of control for a long time. I mean, I keep it under control, but if I didn't, they'd be out of control.
I told you that the place I have the most gray hairs is my nose hair. Like I'm looking and I'm like, it's white up there. What is happening? Like it's just... Okay, cool. Great. I love this for me.
Oh my goodness.
It's just so much. So yeah, anyway,
But okay, you know what? Let's flip this and let's just say all the things we're grateful for being the age we are, because there's a lot of great stuff too. I cannot leave this conversation on such a negative note.
I love the fact that as I get older, I just don't care. There we go.
You.
That's a great one.
It is so great.
It's freeing.
100%.
Like,
I mean, that's the biggest one.
That's the biggest one, honestly.
It's like kind of blankets over everything. So all these things that we've just, okay. Like, I wouldn't say all these things like it makes up for, because they're all still super annoying. Like the things that we can't really do anything about as far as like aches and pains, medications, blah, blah, blah. But the things, I mean, I care about all that stuff to an extent, but the things that I don't care about what people think nearly as much.
No.
And I don't care. Yeah.
I don't honestly care how I look as much in many ways. Like when I look in the mirror, like I struggle with like the fact that even we're recording the podcast, because like when I look
with the video
podcast, because a lot of times, like, especially like, we're low budget here, we don't have super fancy cameras and lenses and stuff that give you more of a, because the camera lens does
glow.
Well, and the camera lens, like whatever lens you do use, it does impact the way you're perceived and how you're seen. And there are lenses that give you a more realistic view of like what someone really looks like than others, like, just like dimensions wise. And so when I look in the mirror, like I'll get ready, I'm like, I look adorable. And then I'll look at our podcast video, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like super annoying. But then at the same time, I still post it because I don't care. At the end of the day, it's like, I don't care, like whatever. Yeah. It's like I leave the house sometimes in like, we've talked about this, like fashion that I just wouldn't have worn before or whatever it is. But it's just,
don't care as much.
I just don't care as much. And it's like like when people are like, oh, I got to stay with the trends. I'm like, no, you don't, girl. Like that's, if you want to and that's important to you, that's great. But like at the end of the day, nobody cares. And the people that do care, it's like they're in a place in their life that like, why would they care? Yeah. So not caring is a big one.
Yeah.
That's good. I also like the wisdom that comes with being older.
Right.
Like knowing stuff.
Yeah.
I like the emotional regulation, like not flying off the handle about things, or like, I remember being young and, perimenopause is basically the reverse of puberty in many ways. And so it's just, I remember going through puberty and being so emotional and like just crying and just like the emotions were so big and so hard to control. And now like sometimes I have a big emotion, but typically, I've been through enough therapy and enough like, I'm old enough that I can regulate without going off.
Feathers don't get ruffled nearly as easily.
Not typically. Like it kind of takes a lot to really, I like to get worked up. I'm a little bit of a gossip. And so if we start talking, I might be like, oh yeah, that kind of stuff. But like to actually get upset, like where I'm actually upset, it takes a lot. Yeah. It would take a lot.
Okay. Yeah. Well, this all sounds great now.
Okay. But you haven't given very many great things. I'm just saying. Okay. I've given like 4. I need you to perk it up here.
Probably. I didn't prepare for this. I just wanted it to be positive. And I did. Didn't I?
One thing I love about you at this age is that like, and this is something I strive to be more like you in, is that you're not afraid to put your foot down and tell someone no in a way that's like kind, but also like, no, I'm not doing that. Like your boundaries are really good. I think I have good boundaries too, but like you're very good about expressing a boundary. And really like if somebody, I remember you telling me a story where there was somebody that was not in your circle that was trying to come in and tell you guys how to do something, and you were like, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this. No, I'm not willing to do that. And I just love that. I think that's like a really good thing. Where like, I think when you're younger, like the royal we're like much more people pleasy or just like worried, you know, like, oh, I don't want to offend anybody. Where now it's just like, no, thank you.
Look at you coming up with all these positives, Beth. I just want to point out that I love this.
See, it's not that bad, guys. I mean, the pros totally outweigh the cons.
That's right. Hey, if you're enjoying this podcast and would like to support our show, you can share episodes with your friends and family, follow us on Instagram at the Geriatric Millennials, or leave us a positive review and rating, all which help us to grow. Our theme music was created by the Finley Ghost, so check out their latest album now. Thank you so much.